Recording in progress.
Magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Narito po tayo sa press conference ng Philippine Statistics Authority para sa mga paunang resulta ng March 2023 Labor Force Survey. We are pleased to welcome the press and media partners here with us on-site and online today. Ako po si Janine Almeda, ang inyong moderator for today's press briefing. Bago po natin simulan ang press conference, gusto po namin ipahayag na ito ay naka-live stream sa ating PSA Facebook page. Updates are also tweeted on the PSA Twitter with the hashtag PHEmployment. Ngayon, ikinagagalak ko pong ipakilala si PSA Undersecretary Dennis Mapa, National Statistician and Civil Registrar General, na siyang mag-uulat tungkol sa ating mga paunang resulta ng Labor Force Survey itong nakalipas na March 2023. Ating pakinggan ang report ni Yusek Dennis Mapa.
Magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Ang Philippine Statistics Authority ay mag-uulat ng Labor and Employment Statistics base sa paunang resulta ng Marso 2023 Labor Force Survey. Ang pagkalap ng datos para sa Marso 2023 Labor Force Survey ay ginawa sa loob ng 18 araw o 18 araw mula ika-8 hanggang ika-28 ng Marso nitong taon. Nitong Marso 2023, 11,093 ang total sample households na na-survey ng Philippine Statistics Authority. Samantala, 11,165 naman ang total sample households na na-survey noong Pebrero 2023 at 10,879 households noong Marso ng nakaraang taon. Sa populasyon ng 15 taong gulang pataas, ang bilang na nasa labor force o mga individual na employed o unemployed ay naitala sa 51 million nitong Marso 2023. Ito ay mas mababa kumpara sa naitalang bilang noong Pebrero 2023 na nasa 51.27 million, ngunit higit na mas mataas naman kumpara sa naitala noong Marso ng nakalipas na taon na nasa 49.85 million. Ang labor force participation rate nitong Marso 2023 ay nasa 66%. Ito ay mas mababa sa naitalang labor force participation rate noong Pebrero 2023 na nasa 66.6%, ngunit higit na mas mataas sa naitala noong Marso ng nakalipas na taon na nasa 65.4%. Nitong Marso 2023, ang employed persons o bilang ng mga may trabaho o negosyo ay naitala sa 48.58 million. Ito ay mas mababa ng 216,000 kaysa sa naitala noong Pebrero 2023 na nasa 48.80 million, ngunit higit na mas mataas naman kumpara sa bilang noong Marso 2022 na nasa 46.98 million. Ang employment rate nitong Marso 2023 ay nasa 95.3%. Ito ay makikitang bagyang mas mataas sa naiulat noong Pebrero 2023 at higit na mas mataas naman kumpara noong Marso 2022 na nasa 94.2%. Ang unemployed persons o bilang na nasa labor force na walang trabaho o negosyo nitong Marso 2023 ay nasa 2.42 million. Ito ay mas mababa kaysa sa naitalang 2.47 million noong Pebrero 2023 at higit na mas mababa naman kumpara noong Marso 2022 na nasa 2.88 million. Ang unemployment rate ay naitala sa 4.7% o 47 sa kada 1,000 na individual na nasa labor force ang walang trabaho o negosyo nitong Marso 2023. Ito ay makikitang bahagyang mas mababa sa naiulat noong Pebrero 2023 at higit naman na mas mababa kumpara noong Marso 2022 na nasa 5.8%. Ang bilang ng underemployed nitong Marso 2023 ay tinatayang nasa 5.44 million. Ito ay mas mababa ng 845,000 kung ikukumpara sa naitalang bilang ng underemployed noong Pebrero 2023. Makikitang mas mababa rin ito ng 1.98 million kumpara sa bilang ng underemployed noong Marso na nakalipas na taon. Ang underemployment rate nitong Marso 2023 ay tinatayang nasa 11.2%. Ito ay mas mababa kumpara sa nai-report noong Pebrero 2023 na nasa 12.9% at noong Marso 2022 na nasa 15.8%. Kung atin namang susuriin ang mga datos ayon sa kasarian, sa buwan ng Marso 2023, ang labor force participation rate ng mga kalalakihan ay nasa 76.1%. Ito ay nanatiling mas mataas kaysa sa labor force participation rate ng mga kababaihan na nasa 55.9% lamang. Nitong Marso 2023, ang employment rate ng mga kalalakihan ay naitala sa 95.7% at makikitang mas mataas kaysa sa naitalang employment rate ng mga kababaihan na nasa 94.6%. Samantala, 4.3% o 43 sa kada 1,000 na kalalakihan naman na nasa labor force ang walang trabaho o negosyo nitong Marso 2023. Ito ay mas mababa sa unemployment rate ng mga kababaihan na nasa 5.4%. Sa mga employed na kalalakihan nitong Marso 2023, 12.8% sa kanila ay underemployed. Higit na mas mataas ito kumpara sa underemployment rate ng mga kababaihan na nasa 9.1% lamang. Kung ang datos ng pangunahing sektor naman ang ating susuriin, nitong Marso 2023, ang services sector pa rin ang nanatiling bumubuo sa may pinakamalaking bahagi ng labor force na may 59.0% share. Kasunod nito ang agriculture sector na may 23.5% share, habang ang industry sector naman ay may share na 17.5%. Kung ikukumpara ang mga estimates ng subsector nitong Marso 2023 sa Marso 2022, ang mga subsectors na may pinakamalaking pagtaas sa bilang ng may trabaho o negosyo ay ang mga sumusunod: transportation and storage na may dagdag na 533,000. Ang may pinakamalaking pagtaas sa sektor na ito ay mula sa charters, excursion and other occasional coach services, taxi operations, airport shuttles, rental of cars and trucks with drivers, jeepney and Asian utility vehicle operations, tricycle and pedicab operation, public utility cars, and taxi operations. Pangalawa, ang accommodation and food service activities na may dagdag na 447,000 at base sa datos, tumaas ang bilang ng employed sa restaurants and mobile food service activities tulad ng cafeterias, fast food restaurants at pizza delivery, short-term accommodation activities tulad ng hotels and motels, resorts, condotels, pension houses, camping sites and facilities, at provision of temporary or long-term lodging in single or shared rooms or dormitories for students, migrant, seasonal workers, and other individuals. Pangatlo, ang wholesale and retail trade, repair of motor vehicles and motorcycles na may dagdag na 407,000 at nagmula sa pagtaas sa retail sale in non-specialized stores with food beverages or tobacco predominating tulad ng retail selling in groceries, supermarkets, sari-sari stores at convenience stores. Nagkaroon din ng pagtaas sa retail sales via stalls and market of food beverages and tobacco products and retail sale of alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages in specialized stores. Pang-apat, ang construction, may dagdag na 384,000 at base sa datos nagkaroon ng pagtaas sa bilang ng may trabaho o negosyo sa construction of buildings. Kasama na rito ang construction of complete residential and non-residential buildings on account for sale or a fee or contract basis. Kasama rin ang electrical installation and plumbing, heat and air conditioning installation. At panglima, ang other service activities. Mula ito sa domestic service activities tulad ng mga kasambahay, drivers, cooks, houseboy, gardeners, including governesses, tutors, and personal secretaries. Nakasama rin dito ang bilang sa datos ang repair of household appliances and home and garden equipment, including funeral and related activities. Sa kabilang banda, ang mga subsectors na may pinakamalaking pagbaba sa bilang ng may trabaho o negosyo kung ikukumpara ang Marso 2023 sa Marso 2022 ay ang mga sumusunod. Agriculture and Forestry may bawas na 607,000. Ang may pinakamalaking pagbaba sa bilang ng employed sa sektor na ito ay mula sa growing of corn, except young corn, growing of leafy and fruit-bearing vegetables, growing of other fruits, harvesting, dressing, grading, baling, and related services, and services to establish crops, promote their growth, and protect them from pests and diseases. Pangalawa, ang financial and insurance activities na may bawas na 156,000 at ito ay mula sa other monetary intermediation tulad ng receiving of deposits or close substitutes for deposits and extending of credit or lending funds. Kasama rin dito ang financial leasing and activities of insurance agents and brokers in selling, negotiating, or soliciting of insurance and reinsurance policies. Pangatlo, ang manufacturing na may bawas na 136,000 at ang pagbaba sa bilang ng employed ay mula sa manufacture of semiconductor devices and other electronic components, manufacture of products of bamboo, cane, rattan, and the like, plating materials except furniture, manufacture of other electronic and electrical wires and cables. Pang-apat, ang human health and social work activities na may bawas ng 130,000 at base sa datos nagkaroon ng pagbaba sa bilang ng employed sa public hospitals, sanitariya and other similar activities, private and public medical, dental, and other health activities, social work activities without accommodation for the elderly and disabled, at residential care activities for elderly and disabled. At panglima, ang information and communication na may bawas na 78,000. At ang pagbaba ay mula sa satellite telecommunication activities, wired telecommunication activities, at computer programming activities. Kung ikukumpara naman ang mga estimates sa mga subsector nitong Marso 2023 sa Pebrero 2023, ang mga subsector na may pinakamalaking pagtaas sa bilang ng may trabaho o negosyo ay ang mga sumusunod. Construction na may dagdag na 286,000, transportation and storage na may dagdag ng 183,000, mining and quarrying may dagdag na 108,000, manufacturing may dagdag na 102,000, at administrative and support service activities na may dagdag na 86,000. Sa kabilang banda, mga subsector na may pinakamalaking pagbaba sa bilang ng may trabaho o negosyo kung ikukumpara ang Marso 2023 sa Pebrero 2023 ay ang mga sumusunod. Wholesale and retail trade, repair of motor vehicles and motorcycles na may bawas na 289,000. Agriculture and forestry na may bawas na 259,000. Accommodation and food service activities na may bawas na 240,000, fishing and aquaculture may bawas na 90,000, at human health and social work activities na may bawas na 64,000. Nitong Marso 2023, ang nakapagtala ng may pinakamalaking bilang ng may trabaho o negosyo ayon sa major occupation ay ang mga sumusunod. Elementary occupation na may 14.54 million. Malaking bahagi rito ay ang crop farm laborers, building construction laborers, shelf fillers, domestic cleaners at helpers, at yung nasa fishery and aquaculture. Pangalawa, service and sales workers na may 10.77 million. At ang pinakamalaking bahagi dito ay mula sa shopkeepers, stall and market salespersons, shop sales assistant, street food salespersons, at security guards. Pangatlo, ang skilled agricultural, forestry, and fishery worker na may bilang na 5.7 million. Ito ay nagmula sa rice farmers, corn farmers, vegetables and root crop farmers, inland and coastal water fishery workers, at coconut farmers. Pang-apat, ang plant and machine operators and assemblers na may bilang na 3.92 million. Ang mga nangunguna dito ay mga motorcycle drivers, cars, taxi and van drivers, heavy truck and lorry drivers, electrical and electronic equipment assemblers, at bus drivers. Panglima, ang craft and related trade workers na may bilang na 3.52 million. Kasama rito ang carpenters and joiners, motor vehicles mechanics and repairers, stonemason, stone cutters, splitters and carvers, welders and flame cutters, at painters and related workers. Tinatayang nasa 34.4% ang mga employed na nagtatrabaho na nagnenegosyo na hindi abot sa 40 hours sa isang linggo nitong Marso 2023, habang nasa 35.1% naman ito noong Pebrero 2023 at 33.8% noong Marso 2022. Samantala, tumaas sa 64.4% ang porsyento na nagtatrabaho ng lagpas sa 40 hours nitong Marso 2023 mula sa 63.6% noong Pebrero 2023. Nitong Marso 2023 na itala sa 40.0 hours ang average hours work in a week ng mga may trabaho o may negosyo. Ito ay mas mataas kumpara sa naitalang average hours in a week noong Pebrero 2023 na nasa 39.5 hours, ngunit mas mababa naman kumpara noong Marso ng nakalipas na taon na nasa 40.6 hours in a week. Kung susuriin naman ang mga employed persons ayon sa class of workers nitong Marso 2023, ang wage and salary earners ang nanatiling bumubuo sa may pinakamalaking bahagi ng employed na nasa 61.6%. Kasunod dito ang self-employed without employee na nasa 27.6% at unpaid family workers na nasa 8.9%. Ang employers in owned family-operated farms or business ang bumubuo sa may pinakamaliit na bahagi na nasa 1.9%. Sa bilang ng 29.91 million na nasa wage and salary workers, mapapansin na ang nasa private establishments ang may pinakamalaking share na nasa 47.5 percentage points. Kasunod dito ang workers sa gobyerno o government corporation na nasa 9.2 percentage points at workers for private households na nasa 4.6 percentage points. Ang mga wage and salary workers in own family-operated farm or business ang may pinakamaliit na bahagi na nasa 0.3 percentage point. Kung atin namang susuriin ang mga datos simula Abril 2020 hanggang itong Marso 2023, ang may pinakamababang labor force participation rate ay naitala noong Abril 2020 na nasa 55.7%. Mapapansin na ang labor force participation rate mula Hulyo 2022 hanggang nitong Marso 2023 ay bumalik na sa pre-pandemic levels. Noong Nobyembre 2022 na itala sa 67.5% ang labor force participation rate. Ito ang pinakamataas simula noong Abril 2005 kung saan may bago tayong definition sa labor force participation rate. Patuloy naman ang pagtaas ng employment rate mula Abril 2020 hanggang Pebrero 2023. Mula ito sa 82.4% noong Abril 2020, ito ay naitala sa 95.3% nitong Marso 2023. Ang employment rate mula Hulyo 2022 hanggang nitong Marso 2023 ay bumalik na rin sa pre-pandemic levels. Noong Nobyembre 2022 na itala ang pinakamataas na employment rate na nasa 95.8%. Ito ang pinakamataas simula noong Abril 2005. Samantala, ang unemployment rate na naitalang pinakamataas noong Abril 2020 na nasa 17.6% ay nagkaroon ng pagbaba mula Hulyo 2020 hanggang nitong Marso 2023 na naitala sa 4.7%. Mapapansin lang na bagyang may pagtaas noong Enero, Abril, Agosto, Setyembre at Disyembre ng taong 2021 at noong Mayo, Agosto at Disyembre ng taong 2022 at nitong Enero 2023. Mapapansin din na bumalik na sa pre-pandemic levels ang unemployment rate ng bansa simula noong Hulyo 2022. Papapansin na hindi stable ang movement ng underemployment rate sa loob ng 30 survey rounds mula Abril 2020 hanggang nitong Marso 2023. Ang pinakamataas na underemployment rate ay naitala noong Hulyo 2021 na nasa 21%, samantalang ang pinakamababa ay naitala nitong Marso 2023 na nasa 11.2%. Dito nagtatapos ang aming pag-uulat sa paunang resulta ng Marso 2023 Labor Force Survey. Ang Philippine Statistics Authority ay malugod na nagpapasalamat sa inyong pakikilahok sa press briefing na ito. Muli, magandang araw at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Maraming salamat, Undersecretary Mapa, para sa pagbabahagi sa amin ng mga paunang sa resulta ng March 2023 Labor Force Survey. Ngayon matapos po nating marinig ang ulat ni Yusek Mapa, nandito na po tayo sa bahagi ng ating open forum. Bago natin simulan ang question and answer segment, nais naming ipahayag na ang press kits para sa ating mga online participants ay aming ipapadala via email. Ipapamigay naman po dito ang press kits para sa ating mga on-site participants. Para sa mga nais pong magtanong, please raise your hand to be recognized. For those online, pakigamit po ang raise hand feature or send your questions via chat box. Kapag kayo po ay natawag upang magtanong, please state your name and organization. Handa na po tayo para sa ating question and answer segment. Yes, Ms. Kai?
INS, magandang umaga po,
Morning.
sir. Sir, yung ano lang, kasi March to, so mayroon po bang average for the first quarter? Tapos, what are also the reasons na tumaas yung labor force participation, especially for women? And then also, yung sa underemployment, this is the lowest since when? Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Yung average natin, ito yung first quarter na. Ang average employment rate ay nasa 95.2%. This is the first quarter of 2023, January to March, versus nung last year, January to March 2022, ang employment rate ay nasa 93.8%. So we have increasing year on year. No? Of course, kung titingnan naman natin yung previous quarter, mas mataas yung employment rate nung periods ng October, November, and December. Nasa about 95.6% naman yung employment rate natin. Yung pangalawa, yung sabi mo na tumaas yung labor force participation rate of women in particular, ito ay of course magandang senyales. Ibig sabihin mas marami tayong mga kababaihan na nagpa-participate sa labor force, at nakita naman natin in fact yung kanilang underemployment rate ay mas mababa compared sa mga kalalakihan. At yung pangatlo, yung underemployment rate, this is the lowest, no, since we had the series, the newer series since April 2005. So ito yung pinakamababa na underemployment rate at 11.2%. Thank you.
Sir, follow-up lang. Sir, yung sa Q1, meron pong average din for unemployment.
Yeah, the unemployment
And
is just the reverse, 4.8. 4.8% sa Q1 unemployment. This is January to March 2023 versus yung counterpart niya noong January to March 2022, ang unemployment rate natin ay 6.2%. So, significant itong drop natin kahit na yung quarterly average year on year. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Questions po? We have a question online from Ms. Eileen Menchas. Is there a way of knowing if the 130,000 drop in employment are nurses who have decided to find jobs overseas? Second, sir, Do you see the 136,000 drop in employment in manufacturing that includes semiconductor devices affecting the country's exports of semiconductor and other related products? Why or why not?
Thank you very much, Eileen. Yung first question mo, kung nurses ba yon, unfortunately, hindi na ma-isolate, ano, kasi nandun siya sa group na health services at social worker. Although napansin namin na may significant number dito, sabi ko nga kanina, yung mga hospitals. So, unfortunately, hindi namin na-identify whether they are nurses or yung mga support staff. But there is that drop, no? Year on year sa ating sector na health services saka social work. Pangalawa, dito naman sa manufacturing, yung itong ating drop sa manufacturing sector, particularly sa electronic, no, manufacturing of electronic devices, nakikita rin naman namin ito sa ating volume of production dito naman sa industry. While mayroon pang pagtaas, parang bumabagal din, ano. So while we have not really correlated yet, but we are seeing another set of indicators dito naman sa ating industry sector in our MISI, our monthly survey of industry. So ito nakikita rin natin as one of the other indicators. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Ms. Maki of GMA 7.
Sir, I just want to clarify, yung drop sa employment, is it because it may layoff or talagang umalis yung empleyado mula dun sa kanilang trabaho?
Yung first, ano, so mayroon tayong drop sa employment na 216,000. Dalawa ito, no, Maki.
Yung sa may health sector,
Okay.
etc.
Ang ibig sabihin, no, na comparing natin yung sector na yung year on year, you're talking of the year on year, yung 702,000 versus the 572,000. So may drop tayo dyan ng mga 130,000. So parang nagsabi lang na sa estimate natin na nabawasan yung bilang ng employed persons sa subsector na yan, yung human health and social work activities. So pwedeng walang ano, bumawas talaga, no, yung trabaho year on year. Kung umalis sila, ano yung reason? Unfortunately, hindi namin nakukuha yon, yung pinaka-rason nila. But the data shows that there is a drop, no. And specifically, tatlong subsectors ito na mataas. Yun nga sabi ko kanina, public hospitals, sanitary and similar activities. Sa ating estimate ito ay may bawas ng mga 103,000. Tapos mayroon tayong private medical dental and other health activities, may bawas na 44,000. And public medical dental. So both private and public medical dental na may bawas na 43,000. Hindi naman siya nagpo-point talaga as what Aileen mentioned kanina na nursing. Kasi meron din tayong mga residential nursing care facilities na wala naman masyadong bawas dito. So nagkakaroon siya dun sa public medical dental and private medical dental at public hospital sanitaria. Unfortunately, we cannot disaggregate exactly kung ano yung mga specific works nito. Thank you.
Sir, follow-up lang. Is this significant, sir? Kasi very important sectors to eh.
Yeah,
It's
I agree.
health, it's
I agree.
manufacturing. Significant.
Yung sa kung ikukumpara natin itong month on month overall, kasi itong drop na 216,000 ay unfortunately it's not significantly different, no, pag tinetest natin. But we're reporting the point estimate so that our stakeholders, our listener can understand saan ba galing itong increases saka decreases, no. But if you test it from the statistics point of view, the month on month data or numbers are not significant. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ms. Maki. Sir, a question online From Sir John Ordonez of Business World. In connection to the health concerns, do you see the emergence of the new COVID variant as a factor that could affect employment next month? And which sectors and industries do you expect to have more jobs next month?
Well, unfortunately, hindi kami nakaka-forecast sa movement ng employment on certain industries kasi very dynamic yung ating increases and decreases, ano. So, sabi ko nga kanina, just to provide some context, ano, ang increases sa employment natin year on year muna, no. Ito yung ni-report ko na 1.61 million between March 2022 to March 2023 kung comparison ng ating year-on-year data. Ang 1.61 million increases, ang substantial dito, 1 million, ay galing sa yung classification natin na wages and salaried workers, no, which is good. 1 million yon out of 1.6 million. Unfortunately, mayroon din ditong dagdag ng mga 424,000 na kinoconsider natin sila na unpaid family workers. So, ang two major sources, increases sa ating year-on-year employment numbers na 1.61 million. 1 million ay galing sa wages and salaried and 424 galing sa unpaid family workers. Yung wages and salary na nahimay pa natin ito, ano, ang 600,000 dito ay nasa private establishments, yung mga private firms. So sila yung nagdagdag ng 600,000, our estimate. At yung private households naman ay nagdagdag ng mga 400,000. And kung ilalagay natin sa classification, ang karamihan dito sa wages and salaried ay nasa accommodation and food service activities, construction, other service activities, as I mentioned kanina. This is related to the household, the private household at education. So ito yung apat na under the salary and wages category. Doon naman sa month-on-month, bumaba kasi kaya mayroon tayong drop ng mga 216,000. Nakita namin na may baba doon sa unpaid family workers, no? Bumaba yung ating employed category under unpaid family workers. This dropped to about let me just get the numbers here. 468,000. So that is good kasi pwedeng lumipat sila sa ibang sektor, ano. Tumaas ang ating month-on-month, may mga pagtaas tayo sa wages and salaried, in particular, private establishments, the firms, and the private households. Mayroon tayong pagbaba sa government sector na hiring. About our estimate is about 156,000, and of course the unpaid family workers. So may pagtaas doon sa employment na categorized as salary and wages under the private establishment saka household establishment. May pagbaba naman doon sa unpaid family workers kasama na yung nasa government sector. Thank you.
Thank you, Anas. Yes, Miss Lady of ABS-CBN.
Hello po, good morning.
Good morning.
With the agriculture and forestry lang po, year on year and month on month, kasama po with the largest drop in employment. Is this concerning po kaya? What is the prevailing trend in this sector? And if this will possibly lead to supply issues?
Well, tama ka, no? Siyempre, makikita natin ang mga subsectors naman, particularly dun sa first quarter natin na value of production in agriculture and fisheries. Ano? Ito ay kinakompile ngayon ng technical staff of the Philippine Statistics Authority. Kasi pag nakikita natin na may pagbaba sa ating employment sa mga sector na to, particularly yung group na agriculture and forestry, pwedeng magkaroon naman ng impact doon sa ating production. Ano? Although ito, medyo may mga categories pa kasi ito, ano. So pwede na may impact sa crops, specific crops, kasi kanina sabi ko may mga specific crops like leafy vegetable, yung mga fruits, doon tayo nagkaroon ng pagbaba sa ating number of employed persons. So we are finalizing, no, the other group, yung ating agricultural statistics units ay pina-finalize din yung report ng value of production in agriculture and fisheries at ilalabas ito ng Philippine Statistics Authority sa Wednesday. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we have a raised hand online. Sir Alan Gatos of GMA DZBB.
Go ahead, Alan.
Yes, Sir Alan.
Alan?
Okay. So, while waiting for Sir Alan Gatus, we'll proceed with the next question. Miss Bernadette of UNTV.
Good morning po, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, inaasahan po ba na tataas po yung employment rate sa susunod na buwan, particular po sa May? Alinsunod po dun sa isinagawang job fair po ng DOLE po?
Okay, ang una muna, yung ating next report ay yung April round, ano? Tapos na yung ating data collection at ito'y pinaprocess natin at makikita natin, no, sa Abril and of course sa May kung mayroon nga tayong mga increases. Posible naman na tumaas. In the past, mayroon tayong, ito kasing mga monthly data natin, of course, mayroon tayong seasonality, ano? Nakita natin na if you look at the months ng January, February, and March compared doon sa, sabi ko, yung last quarter of 2022, yung October, November, December, wherein the economic activity is quite strong, mataas naman yung ating employment rates doon. So may pagbaba that is expected nung first quarter at nakikita naman natin ito kasi meron tayong harvest season na nagsisimula na. Pwede namang tumaas ito sa months of April, May, and June. Now, of course, depende yun sa mga subsectors kasi very dynamic itong mga employment and even the unemployment data. Pwede na may pagtaas overall pero may mga subsectors na bumababa. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we already have Sir Alan Gatos.
Go ahead, Alan.
Sir Alan.
Yusek Mapa, kanina ko ba tinitignan, no, yung labor's participation natin ay bumaba, pagkatapos yung employment natin bumaba, and then pati yung unemployment natin bumaba. So kapag sinuma ho natin lahat yung bilang, saan napunta yung mga nawala na nasa trabaho, nasa labor force participation, at pati yung nawala sa unemployment? Meron ho ba tayong data kung saan napunta itong mga to?
Okay.
Hindi naman ho siguro lahat yung may 200,000 na to, nag-abroad lahat.
Yeah, tama kayo. Simulan muna natin dito, Alan, doon sa labor force participation rate, ano. Yung labor force participation rate month on month, again, ano, from a statistical point of view, yung ating test, kasi tinetest na natin ito, no. Hindi naman significant talaga yung numbers because these are all estimates. So yung drop na 274,000 is not statistically significant doon sa datos noong February 2023. However, given na sabi ko nga dynamic yung mga sources, tinitingnan din natin itong sources natin. Una, ang marami na parang hindi nag-participate muna, doon tayo magsisimula, hindi nag-participate sa labor force, ang karamihan sa kanila sa age group ay nasa 15 to 24. Can you zoom into the age group muna? Ito ay nasa 15 to 24 age group. So, kumbaga, nag-opt out sila sa labor force nitong March. Yun ang pinaka malaki. At ang aming nakikita ay ito kasi karamihan dito sa 1524 may mga parang part-time jobs. So pwede na nag-switch back sila sa schooling, ano? Yun ang isa sa mga nakikita namin. So ang majority talaga na opt out sa labor force ay ang group na nasa 15 to 24 years old.
Thank you very much po.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Alan. Thank you, NS.
Can I just clarify again? I don't know if I forgot your answer. Yung sir, bakit bumaba? I mean, bakit tumaas yung drop in employment rate in the subsector? Was there a particular reason sa agri, sa health services? Na-track ba yung unemployment?
Okay, yung
Sa
unemployment,
drop in
yeah,
unemployment.
yung una, when you say drop in unemployment, baliktarin natin, ibig sabihin may increase sa employment. Kasi, di ba, binary. Pag may drop ka sa unemployment, the other part is that there is an increase in
Hindi, I meant, sir,
employment.
bakit bumaba yung sa health sector, sa agri?
Okay.
Na-track ba yung reason kung
Yung
bakit?
yung sa agri sector, kanina nga ang sinabi namin na rason doon sa month on month and year on year, ano? Can you go to Okay. This is I'm looking at year on year. Ang pinakamalaking drop dito ay tatlo, no? I'll just give you the three major subsector. Una, growing of corn. May bawas siya na 515,000 year on year. Pangalawa, yung growing of leafy and fruit-bearing vegetables. May bawas na 167,000. At yung pangatlo ay growing of fruits and other crops. May bawas na 154,000. So, posible na ang ating production dito sa parang planting dito sa mga subsectors na to ay hindi masyadong nag-higher relative to the previous year. Now ito, makikita natin, kaya nga kanina sinabi ko, makikita natin ito doon sa volume of production na ilalabas namin sa May, yung first quarter kasi. So we can compare the volume of production of these different subsectors versus the previous year. So yan yung year-on-year na sources. Sa month-on-month naman, in terms of sa agri, ang malaki ay yung planting, parang process na nagpa-plant, walang specific. Pero pumangalawa rin yung growing of leafy and fruit-bearing vegetables ulit. So itong area na to, yung mga vegetables, both year-on-year at month-on-month, nagkakaroon ng drop, no? So ang nakikita nating expectation dito is that we will be seeing if ever, no, kung ma-connect natin, kung konti lang yung nagpo-produce or naka-hire sa farm, unless these farms are mechanized, magkakaroon tayo ng drop or lower production relative to the previous year. So ito yung mga tinitingnan natin. Pero itong growing of leafy and fruit-bearing vegetable, both year-on-year and month-on-month, parang consistent siya na nagda-drop. Thank you.
So parang lumiliit yung opportunities in these sectors.
Yes, that's
So
one.
dahil walang pwedeng masabi na dahil mas kaunti yung trabaho, of course, bababa yung sir.
Titingnan natin yung production sa report. Hindi ko pa nakita yung production, but that should be a consequence of such a drop. No, yung pag drop naman ng ating employee dito, posible naman nag-migrate sila sa ibang subsector. Kasi nga tumaas din yung mga ibang sub-industries natin. As I mentioned, year-on-year, tumaas yung hiring sa private establishments, saka private households. So, gano'n naman palagi, yung sa agri-sector, nagko-cross sila doon sa services sector. So, dahil may pagtaas ng employo doon, pwede na umalis sila dito sa agri-sector to move to the other subsectors.
Pasensya na, Rastu. This show na parang lumiliit or bumababa yung quality kapag ka bumababa yung, halimbawa, bumababa yung job employment mo in the health sector, etc., tumataas naman dun sa ibang jobs na like in household
Yeah,
health.
ang tinitingnan natin na in terms of parang measure ng quality of jobs, ano, kaya pinapakita natin yung saang anong type of class of worker, no. Ang isa na medyo sigurado tayo na medyo higher quality of job pag tumataas yung salary and wages. Kasi they have regular salary. Kaya nga sabi ko, year on year, ang maganda na signal natin, nakikita natin sa datos is that doon sa increase na 1.61 million na employed, 1 million doon ay under the category na salary and wage earners. At 600,000 ay galing doon sa private establishment, meaning firms are hiring, saka 400,000 galing doon sa household, private households. Yung sabi ko kanina, yung mga kasambahay, drivers, others, no. Now, however, hindi lahat, yung 1.6 na yun, 1.6 million na yon, mayroon din tayong mga 424,000 na dagdag doon sa employo na yung category nila unpaid family workers. So in terms of the quality of jobs, ito naman yung kung i-compare natin sa salary and wages, mas mababa naman yung level ng quality of jobs, ano. But we have that increase both in the salary and wage earners at the same time doon sa unpaid family workers. For the month-on-month, ganon din yung story. Ang nag-hire ay yung private establishment, private firms, saka private households. Bumaba ng konti ang hiring doon sa government month-on-month at bumaba rin yung unpaid family workers. So ito yung sinasabi ko na posibleng nag-shift sila from the unpaid family worker category to the more higher quality of job, which is in the private establishment and private households under the salary and wages. Thank you.
Last na ako, Yuseg.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you said kanina kasi na we're going back to pre-pandemic.
Yeah, the numbers.
The numbers are showing na we're back to pre-pandemic. Kumusta naman yung sweldo, Yusek?
Okay. Ang actual salary, yung
Pwedeng
mga income.
singit
Yeah.
lang, Yusek. Kung sapat ba yung sweldo na yun, can they cope, especially with the rising? Would it reflect here?
It's not, unfortunately, it's not
not
here.
in this,
Yeah,
not in
but
this
we will
survey.
report it this year because we're going to conduct the family income and expenditure survey. So ito naman makikita natin, tama po kayo, makikita natin yung increases sa income versus increases sa expenditure. Of course, nakita naman natin yung inflation rate natin, so magkakaroon yun ng impact doon sa expenditure. But titingnan natin kung mas mabilis ba ang pag-increase naman sa income side. So hindi ito yung datos na ito, but we will report it this year. We will start the family income and expenditure survey this July. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ms. Maki, for those questions. Next, sir. Yes, Ms. Kai.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ayun, sir. Itatanong ko lang regarding labor productivity, na may measure po ba natin or is there a way for us to check kung makikita natin dito sa data yung labor productivity? Thank you.
Ang we're going to report sa National Income Accounts, which will report this Thursday, isa sa mga indicators kasama sa report natin ay yung ating labor productivity. So tingnan na lang natin yung first quarter report this Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ms. Kai, for that question. We have a few more questions online from Sir Andreo Calonzo regarding underemployment. Ano po ang dahilan ng pagbaba ng underemployment rate noong Marso? And for March, underemployment rate po ba ang pinakamababa since the pandemic?
Okay, thank you very much. Yung second question mo muna, no? Yung ating underemployment rate, as I mentioned kanina, itong March 2023, which is at 11.2%. This is the lowest actually since 2005 April. So hindi lang yung pandemic, simula noong nirevise ng Philippine Statistics Authority yung ating definition. So, ang base natin dyan ay April 2005. So, this is the lowest. And tama kayo, dalawa yung sources natin dito, ano, both the year-on-year and the month-on-month underemployment rates are significant, no? So talagang nakita natin yung pagbaba ng ating underemployment rate. In fact, between kung compare natin yung March 2022 versus March 2023, may bawas tayo ng mga 1.98 million. At yung February 2023 at versus March 2023 naman may bawas tayo na 845 million sa mga underemployed, which is a good news, ano. And for the sources, ang karamihan dito ay galing sa agriculture, sa year-on-year muna, agriculture. Mayroon tayong wholesale and retail trade, repair of motor vehicles and motorcycles, at transportation and storage. Now, ang maganda, kung titingnan natin yung class of workers para dun sa quality of jobs, ang malaking kabawasan dito sa 1.98 million, mga 872,000 ay wages and salaried workers. So, ibig sabihin, itong category na to, dati underemployed sila, ngayon sinasabi nila hindi na sila underemployed, no? Kasama dito ang self-employed na 861,000. So, itong dalawa na subsector ang nag-contribute sa pagbaba sa underemployment numbers natin year on year. Sa month-on-month naman, makikita natin na may bawas tayo sa underemployed numbers na mga 845,000. At again, salary and wages ang nag-contribute ng mga 467,000, in particular private establishments, 440,000. So dito nakikita natin na ang ating employment ay tumaas, ang ating underemployment ay bumaba, at medyo substantial na yung contribution ng salary and wage earners category, in particular those employed under private establishments. Thank you.
Thank you, Enes. We have another question online from Sir Victor Cabuenas of GMA News. Sir, can you elaborate on the drop of government workers? What are the primary agencies that posted declines?
Unfortunately, no, hindi namin ma-pin down kung anong agency talaga. Ang estimate namin ay nasa 117,000 under human health and social work activities. Kasi kanina na kung narinig mo, ang isa sa mga may bawas yung sa public hospitals din, ano. At yung pangalawa, yung public administration, may bawas na 58,000. Ano naman ito, may mga, again, even sa government, government sector, may mga nag-hire, may mga nawawalan ng trabaho kadalasan kasi kasama na dito yung mga contractual workers. So for example, dito sa Philippine Statistics Authority, pag may mga big surveys kami, nag-hire kami ng maraming mga data collectors, at kung wala namang survey, so wala kami masyadong malaking hiring. So these are numbers that are moving up and down on a monthly basis. So the net here is about 130,000, and the two subsectors na medyo may substantial na bawas ay yung sa human health and social work activities, saka public administration and defense, compulsory social security. Thank you.
Thank you, Enes. Thank you, Sir Victor, for that question. Now we have a question from Ms. Eileen Menchas. If you just track the employment data, can you gauge how much the economy grew in the 3-month period?
I will answer that, Eileen, on Thursday, 10 a.m. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Are there any questions? Okay, online, there are no more questions. Here po, on site.
Yeah,
Yes,
go ahead.
Miss Maki?
Baka if there's more data, comparative data lang, Yusek, on yung drop in employment by sector. Like in agri and forestry, 'di ba, nag-drop ng 607K. Ilan yung drop from last year?
Okay.
May ganun ba, Yusek?
Yeah, we can provide you with the
Hingi na
time
lang
series.
ako.
We can provide you with the time series. Mayroon naman tayong time series by
Alright.
sector. The technical staff can give it to you after this.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, before we end today's press conference, may we request our media partners to accomplish our evaluation form. For online, the link is sent in the Zoom chat, and this form will be very helpful for us to get your feedback on the conduct of this press briefing. Okay, if there are no more questions, thank you. Online, wala na rin po. Nais po naming pasalamatan kayong lahat sa pakikinig at pagsali sa press conference para sa mga paunang resulta ng March 2023 Labor Force Survey. Sana'y patuloy po ninyo kaming suportahan ang aming mga proyekto at activities ng Philippine Statistics Authority. You may visit our webpage at www.psa.gov.ph for more updates. Once again, ako po si Janine Almeda ng Philippine Statistics Authority. Maraming salamat at magandang umaga sa inyong lahat.